What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of All Things Super. I am one of your hosts, Spider, and I'm joined once again by Mr. VIP Frankie Washington. How are you doing today, sir?
I am get ready for
Sleepy?
infinitely awesome. Thank you for asking, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Doing fantastic.
Fantastic. Is that a keyword hashtag for something? Is because you just
No,
randomly threw fantastic out there like you knew something that we didn't know.
I don't know anything that no one else. Well, I don't know a lot of things that a lot of people know, and I know some things that some people don't know. But as far as fantastic is concerned, I know nothing.
First of all, that sounds like a quattro word phrase that you put together. So the proof is in the details. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Sound like you know something.
I don't know anything.
For sure? You don't know?
I am positive that I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right. I
I
guess
don't know
that's
what
what
you
we're
think
doing.
I know,
Hey,
but I
I
sure
don't
don't know it.
I it's for the people. I'm asking for the people. The people want to know. For a reason.
Don't know what that reason is.
You don't know what that reason is? You just
Nope.
go throw fantastic out there
Yep.
for no reason at all.
I mean, would you like me to not feel fantastic?
No, I don't want you to be Ben Grimm about any of that. I want you to, you know, be fantastic like you are.
If you didn't know, this is All Things Super, where every week we take a piece of superpowered movie, TV show, even trailer. We watch them, we react to them, we break them down, we review them, and we ask the question: Is it super?
Is it?
Is it?
It's super. It's
And we'll find out. But if you like that, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you can be notified when we have new episodes that come out. If you want the audio version of the podcast, just search for All Things Super on your favorite podcast streaming platform. And if you want to follow us on social media, just click the link in the description below.
I love our show.
I
Leave
love it too.
comments. We read those. I love our show. I love the variety of the show.
Mm-hmm.
I love how you click this thumbnail and you thought you were gonna get something and you just got something else. And then you get that what you click for, but then you get so much more.
Yeah.
There is no show like our show. All those other shows are formulaic and structured, and to each his own. I like the uniqueness of our show. And if you like the uniqueness of our show too, then we appreciate you for liking our uniqueness.
There
And
it
I'll
is.
drink to that.
There it is. But this episode, we are talking about episode 2 of
Dos,
season 2
dos,
of Invincible.
dos. That's too many syllables. Okay, never mind.
But the title of this
Uh-huh.
episode just threw me for a loop when I saw. I pull up Amazon Prime Video
Huh?
and I go to Invincible
Uh-huh.
season 2 and I move
Uh-huh.
over to episode 2. And the
Right? That's
title
usually
of the
how it goes.
episode
Yeah.
is "In About 6 Hours I Lose My Virginity to a Fish."
Right. That's that's clever titling right there.
I didn't know what to expect for this episode.
Now you know it worked. Got to keep y'all off y'all toes and
Off,
on. Yeah, off y'all toes.
off
Cause
and
y'all,
on.
well, it all depends on how the switch goes. If you click it, it goes on and off. It's all
What does it have
depending
to
on
do
how
with
the.
toes?
Well, the point of what I'm saying is, guys like us, since you call us reviewers, I don't think we're reviewers. I think
I
we're,
mean, no.
we engage in great
Before
conversation
we
about.
move on, from
Oh,
that,
all right, we're about
what
to
I
address the
said
elephant.
is that we're critics, and you say that you don't think that we're critics. But
I don't think we're critics.
if you're critiquing something, you are being a critic.
I think it's just a conversation about what we saw.
I don't see what your problem is with saying that we are critics.
I think we're critical. I think we just have an honest conversation about
I
how we feel
mean,
about what we saw.
we have criticisms about the things that we watch. That's
No,
what critics do.
when it's bad, it's just bad.
I mean, criticism isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Sometimes it's positive.
There's
Yeah,
constructive
there you
criticism.
go. There's construction criticism too.
Yes, there's criticism about construction.
Well, there you go. What I'm saying is, guys like us in the industry of tubing or whatever you want to call it, fan theory or fandom. Sorry, lost the word. Had an Ultron moment. Fandom for a second, and we could put together what the storyline is going to be, and then spoil it for people that may not know, instead of it being a surprise to them, the man behind the curtain or whatever the situation may be, based on the comics or whatever the source material may be.
Yeah.
So they have to do things to avert our thought processes, our conclusions, our theories. Hence the title that they gave, which means you had no clue what to expect.
No, I did.
See, that makes sense.
And I mean, I prefer it that way because, like you say, for those people who have read the Invincible comics or the Invincible graphic novels, they have a vague idea of where season 2 is going to go, because we see the excuse me, the introduction of Angstrom Levy in episode 1, and they know about what he does in the comics, so they're looking for him to follow that same sort of storyline in season 2 of the show. But I know that with the show, most creators don't do a one-for-one interpretation from
right,
comics to television. But with that being said, not a lot of creators work on their own product when it comes to transforming into a visual media. Like Robert Kirkman having a huge part in how Invincible is created, I think has done wonders for the show itself, because that it's staying true to what it was, as opposed to any other type of MCU or DCEU movie that like to take liberties with their heroes and the things that they do, and killing off the villains, where in comics most villains don't die. They get locked up only to escape in like 2 more
and team up
and team up. Yeah. And so
that's a storyline within itself, because again, we saw that in another project. They were saying that we can't kill, and then the situation required them to change their situation. You kill who you can because the situation deemed it. It's like, you got to stay true to your source material. Not this. I mean, come on, it's Robert Kirkman. You seen the critical part that he played in The Walking Dead, which is still one of the longest running zombie television shows of all time.
Yeah.
And
they are technically not zombies.
The Walking Dead?
Yeah. Don't they call them walkers?
They eat brains, don't they?
I mean, just like they have mutants in the MCU, but they couldn't call them mutants.
Dude,
I'm not saying that they're not zombies. I'm just saying they didn't call them zombies.
If it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quack like a duck, can I call them Skittles?
I mean, you can call it by a different name. There are ducks that have different names. They're still a duck, but they're called a mallard, or they're called, whatever other species name that they may have. It's still a duck. Yes, I do agree with you. They're still zombies. Yes. I'm just saying that in the show, they didn't call them zombies, right?
I just want to call them Skittles. Oh, no. In the show, no one ever called them a zombie.
Yeah, so that's the only point that I was making.
They called them like 5 different other names besides walkers. It's like 9. It's like almost every season somebody had a new name for
And
them.
I remember reading on something as to why that was. And I think it was just because of the connotation of, what a zombie is. Because The Last of Us kind of fell under that same umbrella too, where they don't have zombies per se, even though, they kind of shuffle about. They'll bite you and turn you into one of them, but they're not zombies, they're infected. Because, I mean,
Does somebody
essentially,
have the patent or the copyrights on zombie?
I don't know, because I mean, zombie is still a very loosely used word over a whole bunch of different mediums. So I don't think that anybody has a copyright or a trademark on the word zombie. But I just think that, especially
What were they called
with,
in World War Z?
I think, I don't know if they were ever referred to. It's been so long since I've seen that movie.
Zombieland, they had zombies.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the title.
And well, that could have been because it was a parody ish.
True.
I'm trying to think in like 28 days later, what would they call? This is interesting.
Yeah,
Oh,
because I
thanks,
mean,
Super. Giving you all the juicy details that you didn't even know you wanted. Look at you. You're welcome.
because what were the creatures in I Am Legend? Were they were more like vampires or something, weren't
They
they supposed to
were
be?
not zombies. They were kind of because they couldn't come out in the day.
Yeah.
This is uh this is interesting.
I mean, but it
Get the
allows you,
yarn. Make a
but
little red board with the yarn.
it's smart though, because it allows you as a show to take liberties with your creatures that you wouldn't be able to if you put them in a sort of bubble of, oh, this is a
Oh,
zombie, because people expect zombies to act a certain way. Oh, they eat brains. Oh, they're
right,
undead, right?
right.
But you have people in The Walking Dead and in The Last of Us who they get infected and they turn,
Infected. Yeah.
but it's not necessarily the living dead, it's not necessarily the undead,
No, they're just
so
infected.
right, so it's
It's the
not
same thing
necessarily a
with
zombie.
Resident Evil.
Yeah,
They don't call them zombies in
they don't
Resident
call them
Evil.
zombies, no, but we've all referred to them as zombies.
See, here's the thing though. I think we uncovered that you can't use zombies ever again unless you're gonna pay a ridiculous lawsuit fee
I don't think that's the case.
by the zombie king who owns the rights and the patents and the IP for the word
The
zombie.
word zombies, no.
Exactly. Rob
Anyway,
Zombie
I don't
probably owns
even
it.
remember how we got to this, but we were talking about Invincible, and
Well, I'll tie it in. Sure, you know.
oh yeah, because we were talking about Robert Kirkman, and you were saying about everything that he's done with The Walking Dead.
Exactly. Look how good I am. God mode. But his participation definitely makes a difference.
Yeah,
Invincible is a show that has so many layers on it, and clearly they're stacking the deck right now. If you didn't know what they were doing, they're still stacking the deck.
right.
Stacked it in season one, still stacking it in season two, still stacking. So we start out, Mark, and here's what I do like about this. I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there that I like some things. There's some things I don't like. I said that last week. Is it the same great? Let's find out. But right now, we'll talk about the things that I do like. I like that we're in this, right? We didn't fast forward 5 years or nothing like that. It's not been that long
Right.
since everything that happened has happened. And
Just a
we
month.
still didn't deal with everything from season one. But again, we're still stacking the deck from season two.
Right.
So Mark's here. Mark's involved. He's on call. He's working with Cecil. He's doing his Invincible thing, right? But his graduation time, he ain't even at his own graduation. High
Yeah.
school.
I mean, they did that in what? Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, the amazing one. Okay, I don't know what's pause
No,
for
I was just saying that they
dramatic
did that in
effect
Amazing
was.
Spider-Man 2 as well.
Yeah, well, again, I think here's 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 I'm gonna give y'all a secret right now, right? Step outside and we're gonna go meta right now. So it's clear when I watched season 1 of Invincible, I was thinking to myself, this is a brand new, fresh faced character to the mainstream audience.
Right.
Nobody, for the people that knew, but for everyone else, we didn't know. We just saw this Invincible kid and looking like what is that, skiing gear, right?
Yeah.
Animation style on point. It was slick, shiny, new, looked like it was something you wanted to be a part of. But like all things, we always say story wise. Now, I am not one of the hardcore Invincible. I read the comics guy, but I did do research when the show came out. I noticed Mark's story is so, you gotta feel for him some kind of way in his origin story because of what has gone down. You cannot help but to sympathize or empathize or put yourself in his shoes. His whole season 1,
Right.
right? Because he partnered up with the wrong people. He lost his girlfriend. His dad turned on him. He couldn't get his powers in the beginning. He's getting bullied. He likes another girl, but the other girl, so it's complicated. Like, they again stack the deck. It's not like, if you ever felt bad for Spider-Man and what Spider-Man was going through, you could not help but to feel something for Mark.
Right.
He had a very merged name. Mark Grayson, Dick Grayson, Mark Hamill. You can put any name, Henry. You can throw any name on. It's a generic common name. You can't hate that. His name's not Aloysius. You can't feel like, why would you name him Aloysius? Like, everything was safe.
I mean, what superhero do you know with
Aloysius Jones?
is he a superhero?
Goddamn right he is. Go ahead, Aloysius.
Well, that's one that I've never heard of. But most superheroes have pretty standard, typical names.
Yeah, Bruce Wayne, Clark Kent.
I mean,
But is it a standard typical name because we've heard it 1,000 times? Was it standard and typical back then? Yes. It's an old ass name. It's very generic ass. So your name is old when they tell you your name is something else. Like, if your name is William and they gave you another name, well, you're gonna be Bobby now. Like, your name is so old they gave you a new name. You didn't even ask for it. Like, if your name was Peter and they call you Jeffrey, whatever, you got an old name. I don't make the name rules, Spider. I would have named it something different if I did.
I'm sure you would have.
Mark's deck was stacked even in season 1. We come back season 2, it's stacked again. The point of what I'm saying is they gave you so much adversity to overcome for Mark. How could you not root for him? Now, season 2, not finished yet. Deck's still getting stacked. Don't get me wrong, this is smart. Why is it smart? Because when he have his triumphant moment, you're going to root that much more because you already know what he's gone through. Now, here's a problem. If all these villains were ever to get together, well, I don't know if Mark can actually be killed. He may be invincible. Yes, that's where the title would drop. But yeah, since he's fighting, what was he fighting on Mr. Graduation? Oh yeah, he was fighting his old guy.
Seismic.
Yeah, not professor. He didn't teach. It's very
Right.
important that we point that out. again attacking national monuments, right? He's over there
Right.
at the where
The Washington
Spider-Man
Monument.
was. Catch the correlation. So he's destroying the monument for I won't say for no reason, because they took the stone out the ground.
Right. They
and
took
made
the minerals out of the earth and
so
then used it to make the monument. So now he's pissed.
he's an eco avenger. So that's what he is. He's fighting
an
for good old Earth.
eco-terrorist.
He's
Eco-avenger.
In his mind, he thinks he's doing well. So
Yeah.
I can't say. I don't know. But he's definitely trying to. He didn't die. So what's going on? Last season he went into the lava, but somehow he went into another reality. He didn't die. He made lava friends. Well, hey, I'm just repeating what he said. So he's back trying to take over. And then Mark knocks out his little cronies, and I think that's the most appropriate word to use, crony. From the ground. Never mind. So Mark takes the win, get these small wins, and then makes a graduation in time.
Yeah.
Superhero life. Now, Spider, I'm gonna go ahead and point something out. Now, I don't know if this is pointed out by anybody else, but here at All Things Super, we keep 100 all the time. 100. Sometimes we go over. Sometimes we like 150, 200. So we go Super Saiyan levels. Sometimes we go there. But did you notice this underage drinking that was going on at this treehouse?
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
Did you see him confirm the underage drinking? Like, Invincible ain't even 18 yet. They was drinking because he said he was on duty.
Yeah.
So he wasn't going to drink.
Right.
But everybody else was drinking.
Yeah.
Adam Eve out here just making that hooch. Making that making that corn liquor, that Adam liquor. All the way down to the atom. Wonder how strong that liquor is.
I mean, as strong as you wanted it to be.
I mean, hey, she's great to have that voice. You never have her down nothing. Ice, liquor, chips, food.
And she can't create anything, right?
She can't create live matter.
Well, not even live matter. It's like she can't just create alcohol out of thin air, is what I'm saying. She has to convert something into something else.
Yeah, it's a molecule atom type of something. But it could be out of anything though.
Yeah, so she could I understand that.
So that don't make any sense either though. So if I take a quarter, 1/4, and I could like make a gazillion things. So it's just matter. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I will say this. It has me questioning things now because you seen what happened in this episode. Now fast forward a little bit. When she goes to Chicago, because she's helping the efforts of cleaning up the city where Omni-Man and Invincible had their fight, because that went across cities and states and stuff.
Right.
So Adam Eve is going to help rebuild, and she kind of takes the job away from the construction workers that were working there. She doesn't come in, she doesn't announce herself, she doesn't say, where can I help? She just kind of comes in and takes over,
right,
and put the repairs there, and it looks great. You're thinking, hey man, she saved the day. But to find out later on, it collapsed. Nobody died, but it collapsed.
It wasn't the building that collapsed, it was the little park area that she made. Because
is that what happened?
Yeah, because what they said was, so like you said, she was helping fix the building. All of the construction workers were pissed because the foreman was like, I don't even know if that's up to code, right. And you just throwing it up there. And so the residents were like, well, at least somebody's doing something, because there's this, vacant lot that's all dilapidated, that's been there for years, that the city hasn't never done anything about. And
You see,
so,
when she said that, I thought she was referring to her actual apartment. And I was like, that's not fair because they're literally right there doing something. I'm like,
yeah.
lady, what's going on? But if you're saying that she's referring to that abandoned lot,
Mm-hmm.
then that makes more sense. I got you.
Yeah. And so what Eve's dad told her was that there was a sinkhole underneath, and that's why they never built anything on it. And so I guess once the park went down, and you saying that nobody died, but I saw that they had the picture of the mother and the daughter in the
Yeah,
newspaper.
the audio confirmed nobody died, and I guess that's just an undersight that they let happen because she did say that she was affected by the fight or whatever. That was her apartment.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking that they were in a paper before that. There's no real way that I can answer. I'm not Robert Kirkman or anybody on that team,
Yeah.
but I think that was somebody that kind of, missed the ball on that one because you're right. It looked like they were saying that they died,
Right.
but Adam Eve's father said, "Thank God nobody died." Because again, I thought they were talking about the building versus the park,
Yeah.
but
So
it
maybe they
was
just
kind of all
maybe they just got hurt then.
could have been. And go back, watch it, and let me know. Leave it in the comments. So, hey,
Yeah, let us know
if
what happened to the
if
mother
y'all
and the
know this
daughter.
show, y'all know I've been wrong a lot. I've been right a lot too, but more right than wrong. Don't tell nobody. So, I don't think that's something that she knew. I think if she knew there was a sinkhole there, she would have rearranged the molecules of dirt. But
Yeah.
there's no way that she would have known that. I don't think that's really fair for them to throw that on her.
Well, I
But
mean, it's still in the sense of superheroes coming in and thinking that they can just bypass all of the rules and just do whatever it is that they want to do.
you can do whatever we want. We're superheroes.
I mean, she was trying to help, but you mean if you're going to do something like that, then you have to, do some research, do some due diligence as to why, they haven't done anything because
All
they're
heroes don't wear capes, is what you're saying.
not necessarily.
I mean, you got to go down to to City Hall and get the prints and figure out why
I mean,
nobody built over there.
that would be the most logical and safe thing to do.
Get a little history report, find out that that's a sinkhole under there. Maybe make some phone calls, a little PR, work with the mayor.
Well, I
Don't
don't.
just come in and just rearrange atoms and molecules.
But I mean, she's not doing it for the recognition. She's just doing it because she feels it's the best thing to do because she wants to help people.
I don't know, Spider. You just said she came through like a wrecking ball and not following code and, showing off for this lady that gave her a little praise, talking about, me, la, 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 sinkhole.
But it wasn't for the praise. It wasn't
Mm,
because she wanted to be praised as a superhero. She just thought that she
yeah.
was helping.
Earlier, she said she stopped superheroing because why again? Why are we taking a break from superheroing?
I think because she wanted to focus on more like environmental stuff.
Humanitarian.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay. I
So it's
got
not
you.
that she's given up using her powers. She's just given up
No.
like fighting the supervillains and the monsters and all that other kind of stuff.
Hey man, this is it's activism at its Adamus, Evis beginning, early stages.
Okay.
It fits if you wear it right. Heard it right, listening to it in your never mind. Anyway, I got it. I don't see how everybody else missed it. You got it right, Spider.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The Adam Eve,
Yeah, I know that.
the beginning,
Yeah, well, when you say the Atomists and the
Genesis.
Evist, I didn't know where you were going with that.
It all has a beginning, sir.
Yes, I
You gotta
understand. We're
start at
not
the
at the beginning. We're in episode 2
dos.
of season 2, so we were far removed from the beginning.
Dos. No, just dos.
But well, yeah, like you said, Mark's on call. He's just waiting for Cecil to basically bring something up. And again, this is going like we said with episode 1. He's trying to atone for everything that happened, and Cecil basically told him episode 1 when they were in the Burger Mart. He was like, "You're not ready. You have all of this that you're holding on to, and you have to go
Mm-hmm.
ahead and get your head right before I can put you
Mm-hmm.
back in the field." Now, against his own words, he's allowed Invincible to go back out because Mark said, you can order me, command me, I'll follow your rules, I'll do whatever it is that you say, but I need to get
Mm-hmm.
back out there.
There
And
you
so
go.
Cecil basically has this grip on Mark where he basically just calls and say, "I need you."
And that's
And
it.
he just jumps up and I gotta go.
He's it reminds me of Terry McGinnis and
Yeah.
the elder Bruce Wayne in Batman Beyond. It reminds me of that and the resentment that starts to come after that. You know
Mm-hmm.
how Terry felt like he couldn't have a life, he couldn't date his girl, he couldn't go out because he was Batmaning all the time.
Right.
Um, I see that becoming a thing. Is it the thing that could make Invincible snap?
I don't think so. I don't
Yeah.
think it is. I think it may become serious, but I don't think it'll become that serious because we see him trying to take Amber out on a date, and he flies her to Vegas, where
Viva! Viva! Los! I ain't gonna do it to y'all.
when because Nolan took Debbie to Italy,
Italy.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so when
So much for not being your dad.
yeah, that's what I was thinking, that Mark, flew
Mm.
Amber overseas, but then he was like, "Oh, this is the Eiffel Tower in Vegas," and I was like, "Okay, all right, that's I understand,
Mm.
just got out of high school, you're not ready to fly somebody, bring them on a transatlantic trip or
Yeah, well,
anything like that."
she only had an hour for lunch, so
Right.
I don't know how fast he flew her.
I mean,
you know.
fast enough. I don't know,
I
we
mean,
don't
where
know.
are they? Are they in New York? Are they in
I have
Washington? Are
I
they?
have no
Because
idea
Eve,
where they
Adam
are.
Eve went to Chicago,
Yeah,
so I'm really trying to place them in the map. Like, which city are they in?
they're not in Chicago, they're not in DC. I have no idea where they are. I don't know if
Okay.
we've ever heard the name of the city.
If y'all know which city Invincible is in, can y'all leave that in the comments
Yes,
so I
that
can
that'd
read
be
that?
some good information to know. But yeah, I have no
Ex
ideas.
Robert Kirkman.
So
I don't know why I said it like that. It sounded like it was a Muppet when I said it.
how was
Robert Kirkman. I sound like I should have had a puppet on my hand. I don't know, man. I just don't know.
neither do I.
We're twins.
But yeah, so of course we get the little kind of funny part where Mark is like, I gotta go, Cecil's calling, and he goes to fly off. And well, she basically, like, she's approving of him, doing this because she knows that he's helping people, but she doesn't really see exactly, what is going on with him. She just knows
Uh-huh.
that, you know he went through everything with his dad, and now he's just getting back out there and helping people. So she's like, go do your thing. He's like, "I don't deserve you." So he goes to fly off. He's like, "I actually got to bring you home first," because at first I was like, "Well, how the fuck is she gonna get down?"
Exactly. I'm glad they brought that in there. And
Yes.
I'll double back to what I was saying. So Amber's doing this comp controller election or working with the comp controller office in her local area,
Mm-hmm.
whichever city they're
Whatever
in.
area they are in.
All heroes on
Wherever
lowercase.
Reginald Vel Johnson senior high school is.
You know that's the same universe where Die Hard happened, right? You know, I could see it. I could see the same character played across the multiverse.
I don't know. But yeah,
I'm just saying.
Amber's trying to be more involved with her city and be more of a contributor to local politics.
We got a lot going on because we see that's going on with Amber. We talked about Adam Eve, in a little bit. We'll talk about a little bit more with her in a second. We'll talk about her family. But I want to talk about the Guardian Spider. Why
Yeah.
can't the Guardians get there together?
Well, for one, well, I don't know about all of them because I'm pretty sure Shrinking Ray and Duplicate and Black Samson, I don't think they really have a problem with Immortal, but I
Oh,
know Rex definitely has a problem with him with the Immortal.
Rexplosion. So Rexplosion don't like the training. Immortal says he's running his mouth too much. Rex is like, dude, Robot was already a tyrant, and you coming in here making Robot look like a Boy Scout.
Right.
I'm over it. Do we see Rexplosion defecting? Is he think he'll lead the Guardians? I mean,
If he
Immortal done
does,
already took his not girlfriend. They weren't official girlfriend and duplicate Kate duplicate
Duplicate.
duplicate duplicate
Dua Lipa is what you're trying to say?
I'm glad you said it.
But no, I don't think that Rex is going to defect because if he does, I think that would be the end of his character. Because
Oh wow.
I haven't seen Rex do anything to show me that he's strong enough to be on his own. He can't do like Adam Eve. Like he can't like leave the team or leave the Guardians of the Globe and then be like, I'm gonna go superhero by myself.
Wow. That's wow. Okay. I mean, he's good enough to be in the Guardians. You don't think he's good enough to be solo?
I mean, he's good enough to be a part of a team.
Ooh. Is he even that good though? Because it looks like they're still having problems
I
with
mean,
him.
they are still having problems.
And Immortal took his girlfriend. So getting them L's right now
Which was surprising. I don't
came out of nowhere.
really didn't understand the motivation behind it, but I mean,
Immortal is immortal. He knows things.
this is true.
So there you go. And clearly she's happy.
Yeah. So,
Because she said that they are a thing. And if you don't like it, you can get the step in.
right.
So I don't know. I think we ought to keep our eye on Rexplosion this season
Rexplode.
because Jin,
It's just Rexplode.
Jin. Okay. So I don't know what's going to happen with him. It'll be interesting to see where he goes. Back to Adam Eve. Listen, clearly she got a phone call from her parents. Her mom was, concerned, rightfully so. Her family's not doing too well
Yeah.
financially. Common thing in superhero stories. You out there superheroing full time. People wondering if how you getting paid then, because you're not going to work.
Right.
You out here trying to save the world. Who go pay your rent? Spider-Man. It's a common Spider-Man thing. He can't pay his rent.
Yeah, that's really the only superhero that they kind of focus. Well, I won't say the only because I'm pretty sure there are others out there, but one of the main ones that they focus on his money problems. But I mean, you got other superheroes that they have a day job. Like Superman works at the Daily Planet. Flash works at Central City.
This is true.
Police
He's a
department.
photographer. Yeah.
And I mean,
Bruce
yeah,
Wayne's a
Peter.
billionaire.
I mean, Peter was freelance, so he wasn't necessarily always getting paid.
No, JJ is. You've seen the type of individual he is, so he might tell you he'll pay you $50 for a picture and give you 25. Tell you the rest on consignment. It's like what? Wait, what? That's just the type of character he is.
Yeah.
But I don't think I don't everybody ain't got jobs. I don't think
No.
Luke Cage ain't got a job. Well,
No.
no, he's a mercenary for hire. Not a mercenary, he's a good guy for
yeah.
hire. Well, there you go, Peter. You could
They
join
just
up with the Defenders.
hustle and make some money some kind of way.
You know what? So why not? It's either that or end up like what's the guy with the mask on that was in season 1?
Metal Mask. I think that was his name.
While you do with your guy in the chair thing, I'm going to I'm gonna remember it. His name was I don't remember. The machine, no. Anyway, the guy with the little metal mask, he didn't even have powers. And he recruited guys that did have powers
Right.
and took over the city. So imagine if you had powers, I can't see you not how you wouldn't be like that concrete guy and just take over. You're almost invincible. So Adam Eve situation, she goes home, her mom's not doing well financially, and Adam Eve is like, why don't you just tell me? Again, she could take and create things. Now, here's the thing. Spider, you and I know because we watched the show that she's manipulating matter down to its atom.
Mm-hmm.
She did not steal anything. There's no unethical part in any of this. She took a twig or a tree, cardboard, whatever was in it. They showed the refrigerator. There was baking soda and some other things in there.
Machine Head is his name.
That's what I wasn't going to say. And she took that stuff and she made more stuff.
Right.
She took like you said, she didn't conjure stuff out of thin air. She reanimated atoms to create whatever she wants in her mind. So she took an apple and made it 24 karat gold. She didn't steal this.
No.
But her father refused to let her help them. Is that pride? What's going on here in this situation? I mean, I've seen the Adam Eve story. I know that they're just horrible people, but at the same time, you're so prideful. You're doing the opposite of accepting help because why? I'm confused on that. Help me out, Spider. Let me understand this.
It's a point of pride, I would say, for the father character. One, yes, but it's also superheroes are the reason that he lost his job. So the last thing I want is help from another superhero.
This is your daughter.
I'm pissed right now.
It's your daughter.
But this is a daughter that he didn't care that she left the house.
You know, maybe
this is a daughter that he called a weirdo and a freak for years on end.
She should rearrange their molecules, make them, nicer.
I don't think that's possible.
She can't rearrange live matter. We learned that in her origin story series.
But yeah, I think that's a big part of it is just that he's pissed at superheroes because that's the reason that he lost his job.
Is he a villain in the making? You go down to Burger Mart and become Condiment Man or Condiment King, or
I don't think so.
The napkin nemesis?
No.
Oh,
he's just gonna be another asshole.
So somehow she's gonna have to figure that one out, and I don't think she's gonna abandon that fight because she doesn't seem like she's gonna turn her back on family.
But here's the thing.
Talk to me.
So, say for example, you lost your job, you're struggling.
Okay.
And somebody just comes up to you and say, "Look, I can help you out." And
is it Mr. Beast? I'm just saying.
It's Mr. Beast.
Okay.
And so he gives you a bar of gold. One gold bar.
Okay.
And gives it to you and say, "Go sell that so that way you can get some money."
Okay.
Where do you go to sell that?
Somewhere where you're not going to get 100% of the value that you're selling it for. Guarantee. Guarantee somebody's going to tax you.
But it's
I don't know. There's gold dealers. You know, those people that buy gold, they're gold dealers.
Yeah, but you don't think that there's gonna some kind of
raise a red flag and say, where did you get this 24 karat gold apple from?
Exactly.
Yeah, just say you melted it down from all the gold pieces that you collected over the year. Or you can say that you're a pan miner, whatever those gold rush guys are.
So you just found a golden apple in a mine?
You can create whatever story you want to if you want. If you want.
I mean, it's just that I know that she was trying to help, but I just felt
All
like
they're gonna do is melt it
a
down
hard
and make a
position.
make a make a Rolex or something. That's all they do with gold anyway. Just melt it down and make stuff.
I don't know. I just feel like it would be hard to explain a solid gold apple to whoever you're trying to sell it to.
There's a fairy tale out there that's waiting to be told. If there was a goose that laid a golden egg, then there was a tree that grew a golden apple.
Two entirely different universes.
If it looks like a duck,
has nothing to do with a golden apple.
This is very true. Unless that duck laid a golden apple. I don't know who telling the story. I don't know, Spider. I'm just saying.
Duck laying an apple.
Hey, whose fairy tale is this? That's all I'm asking. They're clearly adventurous with an imagination of a heart of gold.
I mean, that's all in your head.
From the voices that's inside of my head, that sounds right.
Oh my god. Well, we get a lot of story threads in this episode. So
yeah, a lot going on.
So we have, first off, we have Mark fighting Doc Seismic. Getting that done. Graduating. So they have the discussion, because we already know that Mark's going to college with Amber. They open up their acceptance letters in episode 1. But so they're talking about what they're going to do for the summer. And, you know, Eve is saying that she's going to just keep doing the same thing. And what's the friend's name?
It starts with the Paul.
Yeah. So Paul was like, he's just relaxing. Paul's like, I'm not doing
vacationing, taking it easy.
Just taking it easy. And Amber's talking about all of the volunteer work that she's going to do. But we get, because I'm trying to remember, because Cecil didn't call then. We got the toast of, you know, since Mark said he was on call.
Oh, that underage drinking? Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
So Eve made his beer, or the beer that she was trying to offer to him, into a virgin... what was that? Virgin daiquiri?
Yeah, pina colada or something.
Virgin like pina colada, yeah. But so we go back to Debbie, because Debbie's going back to work, and so she thinks she's okay to go back to work, and so she and another realtor are showing his house, and this couple
that looks like Steve Urkel.
Yeah, I mean, his shorts were kind of high, but
there's suspenders too.
Whether it was a boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband and wife, guy was an asshole. Complete asshole.
No, that's not Steve Urkel at all. Steve Urkel's a nice kid.
Well, I didn't say he was Steve Urkel.
I did. But at least he looked like him.
But so this triggers Debbie, because he's basically telling her, the guy is basically telling his partner that, you know, I don't like this, I don't like that, we're not going to sign on this house, you know, basically just commanding and calling the shots. And we can see the the woman kind of just like retreat into herself. And so Debbie mutters under her breath, she's not your pet. You know, still holding on to that resentment from Nolan calling her a pet.
Hey man, that's deep. That's hurtful.
Yeah. And so,
you know, he meant it.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my God.
But so clearly Debbie's not ready.
Oh, too soon. Way too soon.
And so talking about Amber's volunteer work, we get Amber volunteering at the soup kitchen, and that's when Mark picked her up, bring her out for lunch. They fly to Vegas. Cecil calls. He needs Mark to come back. And so he drops Amber off. He meets Cecil on the cliffside. First thing he tells him is that you're late. And so apparently there is a pact with the people of
the I don't remember underwater civilization of
fish people.
I don't remember what they called it.
I don't know what they're called.
Well, we know it's Atlantis parody.
But I don't remember the name of the fish superhero. but he was a part of the Guardians of the Globe. And apparently he was king of these underwater fish people.
Yeah.
And so since Omni-Man killed the king by law, by underwater fish people law,
That's right. So
he
whole
had
judicial
to
system down
answer for his father's crimes. Anyone who commits a crime against them, if they can't
there.
be found, it falls to their next of kin, which is
Mm.
Mark. So Mark has to go down, and Cecil tells Mark that, well, Mark is like, well, what's the punishment? And Cecil basically said, well, you have to get married.
Mm.
You have to marry her because your dad killed her husband. So now it falls to you to be the new king of the underwater fish people. And just to show how good of a boyfriend Mark is, he had very serious issues with this. Beyond just that he's being asked to marry a fish person, he's more worried about what would Amber think if she found out that I had to get married to a fish person. So great boyfriend there, keeping his girlfriend in mind first and foremost.
There you go. That's how you keep your relationship strong. They care that you take those type of things in consideration.
Right.
Can't just come back after the weekend and say, "Oh yeah, I got married to a fish queen."
Right.
But we good.
Yeah. It's just a formality for legal purposes.
You'll test that invincibility real fast. I tell you that. We'll find out if you are, because they'll find a way to.
Yeah. So on top of all of that, Mark goes down and he's basically trying to explain to the fish queen, he's like, look, I understand it's your customs. I'm really sorry about what happened to your husband, but I can't marry you. And she's like, what are you talking about? And he was like, I thought I was coming down here to marry you because, Omni-Man killed the king. She was like, oh, that's, old barbaric laws. We did away with that.
She said, we did away with them barbaric laws. I was laughing my ass off. I was like, what? That makes so much sense. Like, if you don't like the law, change it.
Exactly.
Like, we ain't doing that. So what I got to do, Mark response is, and it was like,
fight to the death.
It is. Move on, don't
that. So we found out
they had this cracking
Mark's opponent is. Yeah. And it's there. Anytime I see like this type of situation where a civilization or a group of people have this large behemoth of a monster that they have chained up to use for their, entertainment purposes or protection purposes or whatever, they always get loose. There's always a reason and something happens and they get loose. Park. And they turn on the monster will turn on the people that has captured them. And so Mark is fighting this giant kraken like beast, and he gets to a point where the beast roars and emits like this sonic like, I don't even know what to call
pulse.
It. Yeah, like a sonic pulse almost.
Wave. Yeah.
And it kind of incapacitates Mark. It's like it's just too much for him. And after, that, Cecil was like, what happened? He was like, because you went down. And he's like, get out of there. You don't need to do this. Just get out because we're sending help. And so he sends in help and they just launch missiles at the thing. And it does some damage, but what it does is it breaks the chains. And so now the monster is loose.
Gotta get loose.
And so since the monster is loose,
it turns on his people.
Turn on his people.
Turn on his handlers.
So
y'all the one that caught me and put me in here. I was just fighting this other guy because you put him in front of me. Right. I was already pissed off.
And so the fish people start to get killed, ripped apart. Murdered. You see that very clearly, very violently. And so Cecil's telling Mark to get out of there. That's no longer his responsibility. He's like, these people tried to kill you. And he's like, Mark said, only because my dad killed their king. So I have to go back and I have to help them. It's the right thing to do. And well, when he says that,
like fish.
When he says that is because his dad killed their king, Cecil's like, well, Mark, you are not your father, which is what everybody's been telling him this whole
Yeah,
time.
I
But
think we're gonna get the whole season of that.
I feel like this is the first time he's actually realized, like, no, I'm not him. I am willing to help people, who are not my own race. I'm willing to do the extra thing to make sure
Right.
that people are protected. And so he goes back, he fights the Kraken creature and ended up knocking them into, he basically took one of the pillars where his chain was still attached, threw it down into cavern the cavern abyss. And
Mm-hmm.
so which I didn't realize it could do, the little, I guess, antenna thing on the monster's head.
Think of it as an anglerfish
Yeah,
with the little light.
right. It's like
It
a decoy to help lure in food.
right.
And
With a
so it reaches up
Krakenish.
out of the
Yeah.
cavern,
It
grabs
extended
Mark,
very long, like a
very long,
fantastic extender.
and dragged Mark into the abyss.
Here's where my gripe comes in, Spider. Ding,
Mm-hmm.
ding, 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 ding. Tag in the gripe. Get my head set on correctly so y'all can hear this gripe. Why could we not see? I guess because of the abyss. But why could we not see Mark get out of that situation? We then cut to him washing up on the shore, spitting out, I guess that was abyss water. It was
Something. He was just
white and gray
throwing
and
up. Yeah.
I don't know what happened down there in the dark with you and that thing that extended to far like Mr. Fantastic. That ain't a good look. We need to know what happened, and we don't know what happened. Is it dead? Is it not dead? Did he, what happened? We don't know. We just cut to Mark washing up on the beach. Again, we stacked the deck. Is it possible we could see this Kraken creature later on?
I don't think so. And reason being because
you didn't see a kill, you didn't see a body.
That is very true. But I feel like not that they made it apparent, but I think that this is purely an underwater creature. And unless they go back into the ocean, then I don't think that they would encounter that same creature again.
Here's the thing, Spider.
Mm-hmm.
You said earlier, there's a lot going on. You are absolutely right. In this episode,
yeah, and that's still a couple of things that I haven't even touched on yet.
Yeah, because I'm about to touch on this. Well, I'm not going to even say that because that sounds weird. But we're going to talk about the Batman parody. What's his name?
Darkwing.
Darkwing?
Yeah.
Nightwing Duck?
No, not Darkwing Duck, just Darkwing.
Okay. If it looks like a it's not him. He died. He was a part of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Globe.
Same thing.
Two very different things.
It has the same letters. Guardians of G. There you go. So it's his, well, we're not going to say sidekick because that term is offensive. It's a derogatory term in the world of superheroes to be a sidekick. He preferred the term his, what did he say? Not protege. What did he say? I forget what he said.
Yeah, I forget because I don't think it was partner.
No,
it was another word, somewhat of a apprentice or something.
Something like
something
that.
along those lines.
I just thought it was funny because when Invincible beat him up, he was talking to Cecil. He's like, "Yeah, his sidekick is you're gonna have to ask his sidekick."
Yeah,
like he ain't really find him as a threat at all.
No,
which I don't know if you should dismiss him if he can drop in and out of shadow worlds and reappear anywhere there's a shadow. But interesting take, when he goes into the shadow world, he could potentially get eaten by, there's something in there.
There's something in there.
Inside the shadow. Invincible's not scared because, again, he's invincible.
Right.
So he could probably survive it if he gets eaten. In fact, he says that. guess who's gonna eat?
Right.
You know? Or he alluded, he didn't say those exact words, but he'll probably survive. So they fight. It was an interesting fight though, to see how Darkwing gets the upper hand
Yeah.
on Invincible, but he's still not strong enough, even with the exoskeleton suits that he's wearing. He gets captured. Invincible takes him to Cecil. Do we see him joining the Guardians of the Globe
I'm
potentially?
maybe, but I feel like he really was committed to protecting his city because apparently there's a city that was cursed by a wizard and now it's always nighttime. And we get the scene of Mark just kind of like, I'm in one state, I'm in another state. I'm in one state, I'm in another state. And it was just like tripping his brain out. And Cecil was like, whenever you're done looking around, like we can go ahead and get on with the mission.
Right.
But no, I think Darkwing seemed like he was pretty committed to protecting the city because he said, it left a void when Darkwing was killed.
Well, it's kind of like when Batman was killed in the comics. Nightwing had to step up. Superman had to step up. You know, he's his name is Ziesel had to step up. A lot of people had to step up. Batman's not around. Go play Arkham Knight. You get a whole storyline of everybody stepping up. I think even Red Hood was out there shooting things up. Invincible. Spider.
Yeah.
He's got so much stacked against him.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any? This is not even saying that his father's. At some point in time, I'm pretty sure Omni Man's coming back.
I would imagine so.
What type of mindset he's gonna be in? I mean, they're coming back. The Viltrumites are coming for an invasion.
Right.
Already, the odds are stacked against Invincible now.
Yes.
So we're
We have
looking at.
no idea when that's going to happen.
Listen, if he comes out 1/4 of what everything stacked up against him, how could he not be the greatest superhero of all time? Look at what everything he has to go through. I think they're like, oh, Batman has a rogues gallery, Spider-Man has a rogues gallery. We're gonna give Invincible villains. What kind of villain you want? You want him to have a multiversal villain? You want? He already got like a oozy kind of venomous symbiote villain inside those aliens that came from Mars. Well, no, that's more like a parasite.
Yeah, I mean, it was, yeah. Because
I'm pretty
he's
sure the symbiote is coming.
A Martian. Because this is,
yeah, he was a part of the Guardians, the original Guardians too. Well, since we're talking about the Martian.
Yeah. I forget what his alias was. But yeah, the Martian
shapeshifter.
Well, no, not the one that we have now, but the one that was originally in Guardians of the Globe. The one that was actually, in his Martian form.
Oh, this isn't the same one?
No, this is somebody different. This Martian assimilated an astronaut, and because that astronaut that went to Mars, he got abducted by the hive mind aliens. And the Martian came back in his place. And so now he's a shapesmith because he was watching TV and they were talking about the Martian. And so he felt that if he went to the Guardians of the Globe, he would be accepted as a superhero. But he does not know human customs.
Keep my eye on this one, Spider. Not too sure about him.
I'm not either. I don't know what his motives are.
Not too sure about that one. And he's still part of a hive mind, isn't he?
No, I don't. I think those were different aliens because the hive mind aliens was kind of like Starro from the Suicide Squad. They're kind of like little crawly aliens, and they were jumping on the Martians to take over the Martians. So I think Shapesmith is just a Martian.
But they're coming to Earth.
Yes.
They're in the ship, ready for an invasion.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're ready
That
for an invasion. The time aliens are gearing up for an invasion.
stacked. Stacked.
And the Viltrumites are coming.
It's just street dinner guests that you don't even want at your house.
But we were talking about in our Gen V episode about, needing a weapon, right? For that unstoppable force that you're going to encounter.
That immovable object that's that opposing force. Yeah.
Right.
You're right.
So we have not necessarily a weapon, but something that could temporarily incapacitate a Viltrumite.
You know something I don't see. I knew it. I
You
knew
didn't
it.
catch that?
Are you talking about that sonic
Yeah.
wave?
Yeah.
Listen.
I mean, you saw the scene where Cecil basically extrapolated the audio, and he was like, "Send this to the boys in R&D, have them analyze it, see if they can replicate it."
Listen. Last week we watched season 1 of Invincible, and they showed us an alternate version of Omni-Man and Invincible taking over a dimension, and they hit Omni-Man with this black matter. I think it was antimatter or something gun.
Mm-hmm. Null energy is what they call it.
Null energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like dark energy, like black. If they were parrying it off something, that's how I took it.
Mm-hmm.
And Omni-Man got hit with the energy blast and came back pissed.
Right.
So you're gonna have to convince me a lot more with that little sound cannon that you're gonna make. Don't
Well, I
get
mean,
me wrong.
you saw it stop Mark.
Mark is young compared to Omni-Man.
Well, you don't think that Cecil would figure out a way to be able to amplify it for Omni-Man? Cecil is going to find a way to weaponize it. He basically, because you remember when they went to the college campus and they had the little
Zombies.
weird dude was making
well, I can't say zombies.
The robots,
cyborgs.
Yeah, cyborgs, and how Cecil, instead of putting him in jail, he recruited him and had him make robots for him.
He learned that from Nick Fury.
How is that?
Nick Fury had the Tesseract, and what they started to do with it. Plan B. Oh, it's phase 2. Phase B. They started making weapons. Cecil's doing the same thing.
Well, I mean, I'm sure he was doing that like well before he got the robots or got the sonic noise.
Oh, I'm sure I just listen. There's nothing that you said that's wrong. I just don't think whatever he's trying to cook up is gonna be enough.
Oh,
that's all I'm saying.
No. I never said it was going to be enough.
Yeah,
I just said it was something to temporarily incapacitate him.
I seen Omni-Man get hit with a Nolan ray that looked like black dark energy, and he got pissed. I don't know if it tickled or it hurt or
but I mean,
it's no effect.
That's still a different type of attack because you're talking about a physical attack by somebody who's impervious to damage, or not impervious to damage, but super resistant to damage, versus a sonic attack that like affects the internal part of your body.
Yeah, the nervous system. For all those who just heard what I said and don't believe that's how it works, go back to Iron Man 1 when Obadiah Stane does the paralyzing thing, and Tony hears it. It affects his nervous system. He can't move. So calm down.
And so I think it'll be along those lines. But like I said, I'm pretty sure that Cecil will find a way to amplify it to where it's strong enough to pause Omni-Man. Like you said, is definitely not going to be enough, and I'm pretty sure that we'll see that. But
I mean, we've seen it incapacitate the Hulk and She-Hulk ish kind of. We didn't see it on She-Hulk, but we seen She-Hulk clap, and even Hulk smash and do a clap, put a fire out. Sonic waves is not undangerous. I mean, Just think about an explosion and just a sonic wave that hit buildings miles away. You know,
Yeah.
it's a devastating force. I'm not downplaying it. I just don't think it'll be enough.
No, it
I think
absolutely
for
won't be
somebody
enough.
like Omni Man, one of the best things you can do is banish him to a realm that he can't come back from. Like that's the only way I could see that you could deal with somebody that on that level.
I mean,
Put him in like a mirror dimension and
good
close
luck with
all
that.
doors. Just saying, that's my remedy.
But I don't know. But so, like we said, a whole bunch of stuff going on, and even on top of all of that, so we got Adam Eve dealing with her parents and all of her issues, want to be, an activist and trying to help people. We
Exactly.
have Guardians of the Globe and all their issues, and now we have Immortal and Duplicate dating. We have Mark, of course, trying to make sure he gets his life together. We have Amber and everything that she's doing. We
Right.
have, Shapesmith
Mark's
is
mom.
now want to be a part of the Guardians of the Globe. Yeah, and even Mark's mom, like we said, she's getting to that point to where she thought that she could go back to work, but it's still, the things are still triggering her. She has
Too
that,
soon. Way too soon. No.
but
She gotta allow herself to break down, which
yeah,
we saw
yeah, which she
in this
did,
episode.
because
She
Mark also kind of, I don't want to say put her on blast, but he has his own anger to deal with as well. And so he kind of took it out on his mom, because she was like wanting to go on a trip with him. It was like, look, we need some time to relax. We need some time to get away. We need to just, go somewhere, just leave. And he's like, oh,
right,
well, I can't, because Cecil needs me. And she's like, well,
right,
I don't want, and she didn't say that he couldn't go. She was just like, I don't want you to feel like you have to do everything that Cecil says.
right.
And
And his response was, I kinda do, that's the job.
right. And so, throughout the whole conversation, she ends up saying, you were not going to turn into your father. And he's like, and Mark was like, well, I know that. Why would you even say that? And
Mm,
so, he blew up at her. And having that come full circle, and Debbie comes home and she just breaks down crying, because I don't know if she ever allowed herself the time to do that.
exactly. You need that time to heal.
But another thing on top of all of that, we get Debbie seeing Donald and was like, Donald died.
Mm,
He was in a house that I saw explode.
mm.
So what's going on? And so,
Not
of course, Cecil brushed it off. It was like, that's not that big of a deal. Just go home. Like, stop
yeah.
asking questions, go home.
Go ahead and get out of here.
But
Which she went to go see, Cecil because she wanted to fight for Mark,
right,
because he almost missed his graduation. He's working him too hard. We think that there's no invincibility to Mark, but we don't know.
right.
We see Mark come close to death a lot. But if he can't die, we sure look like he's
I mean,
flirting with the idea.
Omni Man beat him to shit.
This dude still stained on the mountain.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Like, dude, you shouldn't be alive. But again, because he's a Viltrumite, he's the cousin of a Super Saiyan. So every time they get beat up within an inch of their life, they come back stronger. And Mark is healing faster now. Have you noticed this?
Yeah, because
From season one, he used to be in the hospital like a lot.
right.
Season two, even after the Omni Man fight, it was only been a month.
But I mean, like I said in the last episode, he was still up and about before that month even passed. Before the season ended, he was out of the hospital before the season was over.
So every time he gets beat within an inch of his life, he
I
comes
don't know if
back
it's within an inch of his life. I
stronger.
think it's just after he gets into a fight,
Interesting.
because we got the fight with the Mauler clones in episode 1 and how they were beating up on Mark to the point where he had like a black eye and everything.
Which one of them
And
was the clone?
stop it. And so we see that I think later on in that episode we saw Mark with a black eye, but here we
Right.
are in episode 2 and he's fine. He's all healed up.
Yeah, he's healing way faster. This just goes to show you that Viltrumite DNA.
Yeah.
But if that's the case, we're gonna need him to keep getting his kick all episode and all season long because he's gonna have to level up. Again, he's getting stronger. He's like, again, when he told Nightwing, Darkwing, I felt that. I didn't say it hurt, but I felt it, And he told last episode, he told the Immortal, I got hit way harder than now. Granted, that was a different mark. That was a different mark. But saying in a different universe,
right,
his elevation of strength is increasing, durability is increasing. Then we get to the final conclusion, Spider. We get to Mr. Levy himself.
Yes.
This is not even a post-credit scene. This is like right there at the end of the show.
Yeah.
He's in a different dimension where they have killed Omni-Man. We know he can die. They already said it. It's confirmed. Dun, 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 dun. Omni-Man can die. And they caught Invincible.
Yeah.
And had him nice and restrained. Looked like they were using some type of red light. Maybe it's kind of like Superman.
That's what I was thinking too, with the whole red ultraviolet light to sap him of his powers. I don't know if that has the same effect on Mark, but I mean, he hasn't broken out of, the shackles and restraints that they have him in. So maybe.
Potentially, he said he had to rest. So
that was probably like one of the most villainy things that I've ever heard a villain say. It's like, the only reason they beat me is because I got tired. It's like any other time, it's like he had to be wiping the floor with people to the point to where they were just sending so much over and over and over again. I'm guessing it was probably robots or whatever, because that universe, we don't know what that universe's Cecil was, but they were a woman.
Well, yeah, there you go.
But
women get it done.
Women. Oh, wasn't it girls get it done?
Oh, okay. It's the same universe. We can say it.
Yeah, but yeah, I would imagine they just kept sending wave after wave after wave of robots at them to the point where they tired him out, and that's how they were able to subdue him. But again, it's weird that they would kill Omni-Man but not kill Mark.
You clearly are not thinking the Cecil way of thinking.
I don't think anybody thinks the Cecil way of thinking.
Cecil does, but I'm
gonna take
Cecil.
That's why it's the Cecil way of thinking.
Well, I'm gonna take a stab at it. Mm-hmm. Like he has shown us before with those cyborgs and anything else that he's doing, he's looking for the advantage. I'm not surprised if he's not trying to dissect Mark and see what information that he can get from blood, tissue
in that universe.
Who? What?
I say, well, she in that universe.
Well, you are absolutely. You know what? Forgive me. I'm foreign to this new universe, and I totally made that obvious mistake of not giving a goddamn about. But yeah, you're right. I think she is dissecting, or if not, definitely will try to dissect Mark in that universe. But we see Levy is there just for the information.
Right.
And boy, what information it is. Lying under the pretense that he's going to help Invincible. Invincible coughs up the goods. Singing like 6ix9ine in a trap. Just telling on all the bros. So I heard. I don't know. I don't follow those situations.
Right.
Rats learn how to talk unless it's Master Splinter. Or Stuart Little.
I mean, it's a mouse, not a rat.
The rescuers.
They were also nice.
Mickey is a mouse too.
Mickey is a mouse.
There you go. So it's Mighty. You never heard of Mighty Mouse?
Yes, I've heard of Mighty Mouse.
Why are you shaking your head like you never heard of Mighty Mouse?
I'm shaking my head because I don't know why we're going on a tangent about rats and mice.
The bottom line is Invincible started singing like a canary.
Right.
Black. Levy got the information that he wanted, and then he bounced.
He dipped.
Again, this is not a good look for Invincible. If the odds weren't stacked against you before, listen, you need to be invincible to survive everything that you're about to go through.
Right. I don't know.
I don't know if you're gonna make it. I don't know if you're gonna make it, Spider.
I mean, he's not gonna die.
Well, that you can see some of these things are worse than death. Who wants to be captured and restrained and they live literally for eons. Like,
yeah.
I think Omni-Man is what, over 300 years old, 500 years old?
Something like that. I don't know.
Could be 1,000. I don't know. It's 1,500 was Thor's count. Who knows how long these aliens are living? I'm trying to sign up. Let me go ahead and get some of that.
Over 2,000 years old.
There you go. You know, he's seen some things.
Yeah.
2,000 years old. I think he probably have more money than, you know.
Well, I mean, we're not saying that 2,000 years he'd been on Earth.
Ooh, that's a way I wouldn't have never looked at it. Spider.
Yes.
For Invincible, Dos season 2, episode 2.
Yes,
Did
sir.
it hit the all things super mark? Was it super? Or did they just kind of like piece 2 and 2 together? Because we really don't have a set destination about what's going on. It's a overarching storyline, but every episode is episodic. There's something new going on in each one. Mm-hmm. Plus, we keep flopping back and forth between multiverses and realities. Don't know where we gonna start or where we gonna end up. Did it hit the super mark for you?
I told you I'm not calling any episodes whether it's super or not.
Oh, the shots are fired.
Why is it being shots fired? I told you this last week.
I just thought I could change your mind in a new week.
No.
Can't blame a guy for trying.
I am reserving my opinion until we get the full show because, like you said, it's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in this episode. Not only is Mark having to deal with a lot or has a lot coming towards him, we are pulling on strings for stories of damn near every character that we have in the show. And we don't know if those strings are going to end up, being tied together or if they're going to just continue on their separate parallel paths to where we get to an end and then we just have endings for everyone's individual story. So I don't know how it's going to go.
You think there's superheroes that's out there that we haven't met yet? Absolutely.
We just met Bulletproof for the first time in episode 1.
This is very true. Where he's been all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah. Why
all of a sudden he just shows up.
He's like, I've been here the whole time.
And so, yeah, I would imagine that there are probably superheroes all over the place that we haven't heard of yet.
It'll be interesting to see where it goes.
In this universe, we don't really get an explanation as to how these people got their powers either.
This is very true. That's an avenue that they have yet to explore.
Well, I think they no, they didn't.
No. When we came in season 1, the Guardians of the Globe has already been established, and
they were fighting on the White House lawn.
There you go. So they're definitely close to DC. They hit the monument, but Mount Rushmore is not in DC. So
I mean, yeah, but I wouldn't necessarily say that they have to be close to DC. I don't even know why the Mauler twins were in. I don't remember why the Mauler twins were in DC in the first place.
They were escaping from prison, and the tunnel came up right there.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're close to DC because I mean, just about all of them can either fly or get places super fast.
This is also true. Red Rush did
Yeah,
before he died. But the cool thing about it is they like when Omni Man fought the Guardians. After that fight, he collapsed. He was exhausted. He
right.
again, we said that last week, or at least I did, or said something so close to it. Like he put in effort. It wasn't an easy win. There's
No,
a couple ways it could have went different. And now that we have confirmation that he could be killed, again, that fight means so much more now, knowing that in context they could have possibly beat him. But to know that, like you said, if you send wave after wave after wave, you could potentially wear him down.
yeah,
Same thing around, Invincible. But Invincible is nowhere near as strong as his father, and you gonna need more waves than what you need for Invincible for Omni Man. Like he said, it cost them Europe. They lost a whole continent. That's wow.
yeah,
You know, you've re you redesigned the map to get rid of that threat of that nature. And it's not like everybody could just donate dirt and try to rebuild Europe. It's like, pledge your dirt right now. We're gonna take dirt from Africa, South America, Russia,
yeah.
China.
Can't do
I don't,
that.
I don't want that Chinese dirt.
God. But Mr. VIP Frankie Washington, would you
Yes,
like to
sir.
give a
You
verdict
know what?
on
I
whether or
am
not
not gonna be
episode two?
selfish with my awesome ratings around here because I'm not a critic. I'm just a guy that like to have a good conversation about what I watch.
Mm-hmm. So episode
uh,
two of Invincible, for you, was it super?
I'm gonna say yes. I like where it's going. I like the fact that we're starting to. That's because again, when they dropped the multiversal thread in, when he left after season one, episode one, I mean season two, episode one,
Mm-hmm.
we didn't know if we were going to see him again, and we didn't have to. Overall, there's a lot of other stuff going on,
Yeah.
but the fact that he popped in again to say, okay, this is what he's doing, so we kind of assume he's doing something, but the fact that we don't know how much time it's taking him to do that. Is he going to every multiverses get all that information from every Omni Man that was killed or every Invincible that was killed and taking that information and getting a diverse plan and taking the odds, taking the average of what worked or what didn't work, how did it work? Because again, he can't go back in time. He can only go to different dimensions, but cannot travel within that dimension. So it's
Right.
a lot of technicalities. Like you can go anywhere you want, but you got to go to that area
You have to be in the same physical space or the
exactly.
same.
So you have to go
I don't know how
to
to word it.
a dimension where there's a hole in the ground to go sub layers to where you need to be at to walk through that dimension to be in that space.
Right.
So it's like really, it's not like the Spot who could just go where he wants. Like
Right.
you gotta work the system so you can understand it's not gonna be a quick revenge type of
No, but
I'll
like you
see you
said,
tomorrow, Invincible. Clear your schedule.
yeah,
If
but
he's gathering information, he might take a while.
right, probably a whole season's worth of a while. But
Ooh.
since we get to this scene, and it was just something that I just thought of, we get to this scene and we see that Mark is in prison, and we see Angstrom standing in front of him talking to him.
Right.
We
In
don't
his
see
in his
Angstrom come in. We just see
no,
that he's already there.
right.
Do we think that he has something to do or played a part in capturing Invincible, killing Omni-Man.
Not at all. I think he was there for 100% recon, getting the information that he can get
And then get out.
to get out. Because again, he can't travel time. He can only travel dimensions.
Right.
You have to be there in that area at that moment. So if you don't get there at that moment, you got to look for another dimension where it's happening at that time. Because if you miss it, you can't go forward in time, you can't go backwards in time. So you got to be there. Now, you might have a tingling of where it's going to be, but if you're not there, then you missed it. So he's powerful, but he's limited in his power. So it's crazy. At least that's how I see it, Spider. Unless you
No,
know
I
something
mean
that I don't know.
you're explaining it perfectly well. I'd never considered time to necessarily be a factor because we don't, other than them telling us exactly how much time has passed, we have no reference of when things happen because the scene between Mark graduating
Mm-hmm.
and then him going to fight the fish person or the kraken monster under the sea. We don't
Mm-hmm.
know if that was like the very next day. We don't know how long it was. We just cut to a scene where Amber is at the soup kitchen and she's calling trying to lobby for the comptroller, and then Mark comes to pick her up. So I'm assuming that this is already well within the summer.
Could be.
Could be, but it also could be the next day. We don't know.
Could be the same week.
So, as far as time is concerned, we don't know how much time has passed. So, if that is somewhere, well into the summer where we catch up with Amber and then, we have the whole thing with Mark going underwater, if that amount of time has passed, wouldn't that also mean that that same amount of time has passed for Angstrom? And if he had now, I do fully agree with you that I think he was probably just there for information. But if he did have a part in stopping Omni Man capturing Invincible, that would allow some time to either prep plan, you know, execute a strategy, and then get information from it.
I think if it was a situation that he helped Omni Man get captured or killed, Invincible captured or killed, that will kind of defeat the purpose because you're angry with that one Invincible that's your Invincible. Kind of like how Spot has Miles. Like
Right.
I'm coming for Miles. So you're coming for that particular Invincible within this universe, whatever they're gonna call it. But he's getting intel from all these other ones that has the outcome that he wants, which is either to capture or kill Invincible, if not both.
Right.
I can't see you not thinking about Omni Man coming because you know who Omni Man is. You again, every other dimension you see them team up. I bet you're not going to those dimensions. You're not going
Oh.
to those dimensions where they because again, you just
There's
have
nothing
the
you can do with that.
knowledge.
Right.
You have knowledge of all your angstroms, but you don't have any other ability besides throwing portals out there.
Right.
So you're still on a recon mission. Don't get it twisted. If Invincible gets his hands on him, that's a done deal.
Right.
But you got to really figure out how you're going to get because like, you can open those portals and take Invincible to any dimension, whether he dies or not. It's still anybody's guess because he's invincible. I had to do it one more time, Spider. I had to do it. I had to do it to him.
I had another question.
Well, this is your show, sir. You can ask all the questions you want.
I know, but I forgot it. That's what I was about to say.
Oh, I can't help with that. I barely hold on to my own questions.
Oh, that's what it was. Do you
That I
think
knew it.
that
I knew it.
throughout the season that we're every episode we're gonna get these like little bits and pieces of what Engstrom is finding out how to stop Invincible? Or do you
It's
think that if they do you think that that's limiting how much of a threat we perceive this character to be?
as sure enough as the Lizard King came back to beat the Lizard Supreme, if they don't show Engstrom doing what he's doing, we still know he's an opposing threat
Right.
for knowledge that he can attain. And we don't know what knowledge he can attain. Like we said, we don't know which superheroes exist in this world because we haven't been exposed to all of them, which we don't know in a vast multiverse of what can be a possibility of the ingredients to help him put his plan together. And that's a frightening thought, you know.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, get the guy that beast guy back out there, the one that's half lion.
KGBs?
Yeah. KGB's get him back out there. He could turn a tide.
Yes.
I'm
Absolutely.
waiting for that fight, that rematch.
I was to say there has to be a rematch at some point.
Hey, I want to see him and Omni Man go. That's the real fight right there. Let them all catch a hall pass. Let them slide.
Tag him in.
Yeah, because clearly you want some upper. You looking for executive level. You're not looking for beginner stages.
And that's the whole thing, because
let's see, I was looking for a fight.
It's like the difference between Spider-Man and Venom, right? They essentially have the same power set, but Spider-Man pulls his punches where Venom won't. Spider-Man would save a life while Venom would take a life.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's the same thing with Invincible and Omni-Man. They have the same power set. Omni-Man is more experienced, of course, but
it's 2,000 years old. I mean, goddamn.
Yeah. We hope he learned a thing or two in those 2,000 years.
Even if you spend like 1,000 on the couch, you still got another whole 1,000 years to learn something.
But that's the thing, where if Mark were to really like let loose and not care,
do you think Mark is holding his punches?
I think he is not gonna beat somebody until they're dead.
He did start adapting his father's little hand slicey thing that he used on the rock creatures.
Yeah.
And cut the little rock creature head in half. That little rock creature had to back up and sit down. Like, he cut me for like it was a WWE cut. Like, oh, he's bleeding. Old school. That's old school. They don't do that.
And then he also had his sort of kind of small Omni-Man moment when he was threatening Darkwing when they were in like the dark dimension, and how he just got like real serious. He was like, I can keep you in here, and whatever is coming, whatever is in the distance is coming, but who are they going to come for? He's like, so you can either pull me out or we can both stay here and you're just going to end up dead. Like, before, he would have not made a threat, like that for somebody's
very
life.
True. Very true.
So
it's if he would have been able to get out, though.
Yeah, I don't know how he would have got out, though.
Exactly my point. Take Omni-Man, put him in a dark dimension, and ha! The world is saved. So,
unless the other Viltrumites might show up.
Well, again, we might need that dimension for these Viltrumites.
Yeah.
Cecil has them now. And the man that has, 1,000 plans, I'm not saying that we're not seeing a possibility of something coming of that, Spider.
What's the name of their agency where Cecil works?
Agency of the Stars.
I don't know what it's called.
Not Saber, I can tell you that.
No, it's not Saber.
Yeah. That part.
But yeah, so I don't know exactly what Cecil is going to do.
Cecil's gonna get his duplicate or his life decoy robot in line. Did you see how he looked at him when he was asking about Debbie saw him and she was distressed?
Yeah, he was concerned. He was like, was she okay? Why was she so, upset when she saw me? So this robot or whatever it is that he's created has some type of sentience.
I don't think Cecil like that.
No, absolutely not. Do we think that it has Donald's memories?
I think there's a vat under subterranean layer that has many of Donald's in there. And if this Donald don't get it together, he'll find himself
a
memory wiped and right back in the tube with the other ones like a battery. Get it together, boss.
But it's the Global Defense Agency.
Yeah, it is. By the president, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, two twins come out the ground and started fighting the Guardian. The Guardians was there quick to protect the president.
Yeah.
So, they like the IMF, unlimited budget.
I mean, it seems like it with all the technology that they have.
Somebody got to put the Immortal back together again. So
again and again.
I'm pretty sure that ain't cheap.
No.
Instead of calling him the Immortal, just call him the Annoying, because he just keeps coming back. It's like, I thought I killed you.
He's still immortal. He hasn't died yet.
Omni-Man's like, you should have stayed dead like 2-3 times. So the point just like, man, please stay dead.
Yeah. But I don't know. But I mean, episode 3 is coming, and we'll find out where we are headed with Mark and Eve and Amber and Paul and Donald and Cecil,
the whole
and
gang.
Debbie and Rex and Kate and all
There's a lot going on.
There's
a
lot.
Find out what's going on with the principal of the school, and
I think he
graduated. I'm pretty sure they'll see him on the street.
No, I think he had his cameo, and that was it.
Yeah, who knows?
But let us know what you thought about episode 2.
Yeah, let us know what you thought about
season 2 of Invincible. Dose. But yeah, leave us a comment. Let us know what you thought about it. But remember, if you like the show, go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you can be notified when we have new episodes that come out. If you want the audio version of the podcast, just search for All Things Super on your favorite podcast streaming platform. And damn. If you want to follow us on social media, just click the link in the description below.
Gotta go to the video to see, unless you're really your challenge, technology-wise. That's it. The PSA is over. You're like the PSA in Captain America after Spider-Man.
So, you're in detention.
Oh man, that was our PSA.
Yeah, there it is. But we will be back next week for the next episode of Invincible. Oh man, it's a great show. We love it. But thank you all so much for all the love and support. We really appreciate it. We will see you all in the next episode. But remember, until then, keep being super.